I'm Sanya Raj, and I'm a student and young change maker from Ranchi. And I have been into oration and event management for a very long time now. I have also started a small NGO called the Reha, which aims at providing unprivileged kids with opportunities that they deserve. I have always believed that fear and panic are as contagious as faith and joy. Therefore, we got to choose well. So when I thought about speaking on this topic that revolves around the COVID-19, I realized that it's not humanly possible to do justice while explaining about the kind of impact this virus has had on our lives. We have seen ourselves in the midst of alarming waves of the COVID-19, in the mood of gloom and doom. I myself have spent days being grief-stricken at the loss of my relatives and friends, and I have seen dozens of my acquaintances struggling through the disease. I have seen oxygen and medicines run short in supply at a huge number of places, and I have seen my people in the absolute state of panic and helplessness. My uncle comes home over tea one evening. I listen carefully as he tells my dad about the policies that his company has released regarding the post-COVID action plan and the discussions he's been having with his supervisors and co-workers regarding what the organization expects, requires, and prefers. I hear as he lets out a very stressful sigh, saying that it's been a very long while since he last met his little daughter, who was born during the COVID-19 era itself. He vents out about how badly work stresses him out and how, especially after the pandemic, the work pressure has become unreal. And at the end, after he's done, he says, "But the one blessing that I received is that I got amazingly hardworking and cooperative colleagues. And it's heartwarming how they help each other out of different problems and toil 24/7 to reach the deadlines. I see how the sweat on his forehead and his back pain haven't yet killed his urge to bring back things on the normal pace. And now I understand how joy and faith are contagious." The very next morning, my mom asks me to deliver some cake that she baked to my relative's house. It's not long after I've entered their backyard that I find my 18-year-old cousin sister teaching mathematics to a bunch of little kids from her colony. She quite excitedly tells me about how she came up with the idea. She tells me that the shutting down of schools had a very terrible impact on the young kids, which led their parents to be intensely concerned about their academics. So she came up to them as a superhero and offered to teach their kids every afternoon for an hour to cope up with their concepts. I smile as she proudly tells me about one of her kids being ranked 1 in her class. She tells me she'll be continuing to do so for the next 6 months, and now I realize how contagious joy and faith are. J.K. Rowling said that we do not need magic to change the world. We have all the power that we need inside ourselves already. We have the power to think different and to think better. And this is the idea with which I started Reha. During my work amidst the chaos of the COVID-19, I have seen ordinary men and women doing extraordinary work to help other people out of distress. They have procured medicines, they have supplied oxygen, they have volunteered to look after the ill. The list is endless. It is these brave hearts that we need to remember and celebrate when we look back. And this reminds me of all those little heroes who are doing heartwarming acts every day to come out of these bleak times. Be it the lady on the other side of the street who reopened her bakery after shutting it down for 2 years, or the old man who started a charity fund for poor families, or the young boys who go around feeding stray animals. It is all of them reminding us again that joy and faith are contagious. COVID has taken away a lot from us. It has been one of the hardest times that we have ever had to face. And yet, I can't really resist myself from looking at the positive side of it while collaborating wonderfully with different men and women from different fields. And it is the inspiration that I get from these very amazing human beings, which makes me believe that re-emerging from bleak times like COVID is very much possible through social collaboration and focused execution. I strongly believe that if we come together, we have a chance to do something extraordinary. Fighting with the pandemic, we can change the world. Create a world of love. A world where we are supportive towards each other. A world where we are kind, no matter what religion, sex, job, or class we come from. A world where we do not judge those at the food bank because they might be us if things were just slightly different. A world where love and kindness is our roadmap. I finished reading an article in a Sunday newspaper and I realized that the threat hasn't yet ended. So I decide to spend all of my leftover pocket money to buy masks and sanitizers for the old man's charity fund, realizing yet again how contagious joy and faith are. Thank you.